What up, Panther Nation, Pantherologists? Hope everyone is doing well. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Man, boy, do we got a lot to dive into. So this weekend, Saturday, I drive up. So we're going to talk about obviously the game and stuff, but we're going to talk about this weekend because I went to Charlotte for the game. For some of you who don't know, and God, it was a whirlwind of emotions. We get down in town Saturday, go watch some football, watch college football on Saturday. Things are going fine. Things are going great. We're having a good time. And then we go out, have a good time, right? Go to a nightclub. We get bottle service. Next thing you know, we, of course, we're feeling good. We lose our buddy. Kind of find out he's in the hospital. Got jumped by some people. So that was interesting. Then the next day, as we wake up in our Airbnb, of course, feeling like someone hit us with a Mack truck. We get, watch it. We decided to go watch football all day. Finally get up with our buddy. He's okay, thankfully. And then we go and watch football all day and walk around and go to Charlotte, stuff like that. Walk around Charlotte, stuff, just kind of and watching football all day. And then we call it early because I wanted to be up and ready to go for Monday night's game, being there and all that. And Sunday night, my mom calls me up and says my dog is sick and she's watching my dog for me. Well, I said, okay, what's going on? He's not eating. He's not drinking. I've had this dog since he was a puppy. He's only 9/10 years old. I think he was only, 9 or 10. Come to find out it's not a stomach issue. It's that he has liver cancer. And basically overnight, lost 16 pounds overnight. And I was about to drive back to say goodbye to him because basically there was nothing else they could do. 9 years old, full bred black lab, happy as can be. Nothing was wrong with him when I left, just normal. All of a sudden has stomach issues, not eating, not drinking. Next thing you know, has liver cancer. Don't know what the causes of what it was or anything. I had to FaceTime my mom to tell him my last wishes of goodbye. Didn't really get to say anything to him. And my mom was distraught because she loves my dog. And so it was just a whirlwind of emotions. And then I was like, well, should I drive back? My mom was like, no, don't drive back because you got the game. Like, what are you going to do? At this point, he's gone, So we ended up I still ended up staying, going to the game. I had a blast. Even though we lost, but I had a good time. At least for the amount that I could have, right? So, but it was good for them. Overall, the trip was good. The Airbnb we stayed in was nice. It was just a whirlwind of emotions. I finally got some good sleep last night. I didn't sleep well in Charlotte, obviously due to the fact of, you know, drinking never helps your sleep, but having a good time and all that stuff. But anyways, I had a great time, or at least for the most part I had. And then I got in town yesterday and I was like, I'm not coming home to an empty house. So I got me a puppy. Just so y'all know, I have me a new puppy. He's here. He's in his crate, laying down. I was not about to walk into this house and be depressed and crying and just of all this emotion. So, yeah, match drinking prevents you from deep sleep. Yeah. Plus, also, I'm very active. Like, I work out like 5, 6 days a week, and I didn't work out Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or yesterday. So that's 4 days that I've missed my like active lifestyle. So today we will be re-putting that together as I run errands for him and as I, you know, go to the gym. But I have a new puppy. His name is Scooby. Okay. I named him Scooby because he looks like Scooby Doo. He's a hound mixed with lab. He's super cute and he looks like Scooby Doo. So I was like, we're calling him Scooby. And he's just sleeping right now. So, anyways, yeah. And then the thing was, the reason why I was going to drive back is because they were like, well, there's nothing we can do. We took him to 3 different veterinarians that we know here, and there's nothing we can do. And then we even shipped his information down to Mount Pleasant, who's like a big veterinarian down in Mount Pleasant. And there's like a major one, and they were just like, there's really nothing you can do. And then one lady says you can try to see if he, the body just heals itself. But when it comes to the liver cancer with dogs, guys, just so you know, if they do have liver cancer, it causes them constipation, which means they'll cause them not to eat. And then they get so constipated that it looks like there's like a bone inside their stomach, like they swallowed a full bone. And then they will not be able to go to the bathroom properly. And then they just go downhill. So if they have liver cancer, I'm sorry, but there is nothing that really anybody can do, just so you know. But we got Scooby now. River will always be in my heart. River was my black lab. River will always be in my heart. I almost got another black lab, but I wanted to get another black lab, but I decided that I wanted, instead of going through a breeder and everything, I decided that I'm going to went ahead and go and rescued him. So, yeah, because Matt Chatter, they were asking me, they were like, Clay, do you want to drive? Are you going to drive back? I was like, yeah, I'm going to drive back. But they were like, well, there's nothing they can do. And he seems like he's in pain. So I'm like, well, if he's in pain, I'm not going to make him wait 3.5 hours for me to drive back. Right. And not put him down. So just to say goodbye to him, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to the poor dog. So, and he was suffering. So, but he went peacefully, that I found out, which was nice. I got to FaceTime him, say goodbye. He looked at me and he wagged his tail. He could see who I was. He could tell it was me. So it was still a decent way of saying goodbye, at least to the somewhat of extent of me being away from home. Right. But we got Scooby now. We got Scooby. So, all right, enough of the sadness. Let's get into some Carolina Panther football. That's what y'all came here for. All right, Panthers Pandemonium. He is sleeping. All right, we got some news and updates. I know y'all saw that. I know if y'all are on social media, I know that you saw all of that craziness between Michael Thomas and Derek Brown. Derek Brown looked like the Big Show was about to. He looked like the Big Show compared to Michael Thomas. I mean, Michael Thomas looked. I mean, it was like Shawn Michaels running away from the Big Show. You know what I mean? But that the epic showdown, if it was crazy. I mean, our team's 0-2. It's frustrating, right? It's nothing been short of a roller coaster ride already this season. Okay, I mean, picture this though on a national spotlight, though, guys. Like Monday Night Football, right? 2 colossal figures locked in the showdown, like I was saying, Big Show, or the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, right? That's the best way I can like describe it, right? Um, we didn't obviously set the field on fire, but off the field, Derek Brown was ready to unleash great vengeance with furious anger upon Michael Thomas, obviously. And Michael Thomas nearly went, they almost nearly went toe to toe, it seemed like. But it's it was, I mean, obviously Michael Thomas was talking his ish, and Derek Brown wasn't having it, right? It was just a showdown of epic proportions, and it just led to frustrations through our group, right? I mean, let's be honest. Thomas is a brave soul than most. If he thought he could take on Derek Brown, but if Derek Brown gets a hold of him, I would feel really, really sorry for Michael Thomas. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. And then, Shaq Thompson, though, broken leg. It was a message that roared around our stadium, right? It's not one that you wanted, especially in that position, even though I feel like our linebacker group has actually got a lot of depth there. And Camus Gruger-Hill did step in, but with a broken fibula, and a heart of steel, man. I mean, Thompson delivered a message that really echoed around the stadium when, saying it's a minor setback. It's into saying it's going to become a major comeback. And I hope that's what it is. I hope that's what it is for Shaq. I want nothing but the best for him. Even though I feel like he's milked our organization a little bit with the contract that he has, but he's still a great player in overall, and he's a leader on this defense. So I wish nothing but, fast and 100% recovery for Mr. Thompson. Cool story though. While I was in Charlotte, guys, so there is a bar there called 1058, and it's like 58 Thomas Davis. Why is it called 1058? Whatever. So I walk into here, and there's Thomas Davis, literally just standing there, talking with people in this place. Come to find out that 1058 is his spot. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was his bar / restaurant. So I walked in. I'm like, "You're Thomas Davis." And he's like, "Yes, sir." And I was just like, shook his hand. I was like, "Nice meeting you." Told him who I was, where I was from, and told him about the YouTube channel, stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh, cool." And I was just like, "Can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Sure." So it was cool. It was nice meeting him. Got to chat a little bit. I'm a Gamecock fan, so I had some Gamecock gear on because I met him on Saturday with the college football going on. And of course, he's a Georgia boy. So it was South Carolina versus Georgia. And he's like, I said, "I apologize for my shirt. I know that you were probably not a fan of that, but I said, but I'm a fan of yours." So he got a little chuckle out of that, but it was nice. He was very, very nice guy. Just pulled up though to the restaurant though, or he left and then like pulled right back up, like nonchalantly in a SUV Rolls Royce. So I was like, okay, Mr. Davis. Okay. So that was pretty cool. All right, Frank writes, uphill battle, a coach on a redemption quest. It is. I mean, that's what we're on. We're facing challenging from a daunting than a mountain, climb and roller skates, man. I mean, that's what we're doing here. Okay. I mean, Wright is on a request for redemption. This team's on a request for redemption. We want that redemption right now. We're 0-2. We have a tough road ahead, especially this coming week against a Seattle team that seemed to bounce back after week 1 against a formidable Detroit Lions team, who I think is a very good team, right? And we saw what the Detroit Lions did week 1. So we've got to tackle this head on. I think Frank Wright is as well. We got to get ready to get this. It's going to be a wild ride, guys. We obviously can see that now. We just need to go ahead, put our heads into the space that we're in right now, and realize that where we stand. Okay. All right. Now, Bryce Young's quirky dilemma and when Andy Dalton steps in. So that's a good question. That's something I think that's kind of been a daunting question for our group, right? So Bryce Young He's got the talent, but he also has got a quirk or two that needs to be worked out, right? All right. He's got those kinks, right? So things got so kinky. I guess kinky is not the word. I guess quirky is the word here. That all of a sudden, Andy Dalton makes this surprise appearance on the field, which I was there watching it live. And I was like, what in the world is he doing on the field? I was like, why? So now all of a sudden, Young's height has become a topic all over again. All right. It turns out they don't think that there's a lot of people that don't think he's the ideal quarterback candidate, right? So when faced third and short situations, who do you bring in? The Red Rocket. So these third and short situations, when it comes to obviously they want to, do a quarterback sneak, they're switching. They've decided to put Andy Dalton in there because of apparently Bryce Young's height issues. So I mean, this is just a wild time right now to be a Carolina Panthers fan. It's just this drama, relentless, this quirkiness, this pursuit of redemption for this team. There's just so much going on, right? It's just so much pandemonium, right? But there's um, just so much going on with this team that it's so hard to keep up sometimes. But we got to have patience. So I'm going to give you my observations of the game, though. Appreciate Matt Chatter being in here. Appreciate Jim being in here. Appreciate everyone that's joined the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button. Of course, as always, you make sure you pound that like button. We are up to 10 likes. There's 11 people watching. Feel free to share the live as well. That goes a long way. Also, go check me out on my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I know I've been away for a few days, so I haven't really been active on either YouTube or any of my social media. But now that I am obviously back in town, I'm in front of my desk, back in the lab, there will be more content coming out. So make sure you are liking, subscribing, following, doing all those things. It helps me out and goes a long way. All right. We're working on a contract right now with Manscaped, so be on the lookout for that, guys. Working on a thing with Manscaped, so they will be a sponsorship as well as Bet USA. All my links are down in the description of this live stream, guys. So go check it out. Go follow me there, okay? Let me get in the chat real quick, and we'll move on to the next topic. I think first time they did it, I decided to punt. Second time they went with a run with the back. I think the first time was a punt, right? They just no. So they are you, Cav? Are you talking about the when they threw Andy Dalton in there? I'm trying to remember, or at least understand what you're asking. But let's move on. Panthers predicament. Yeah. So when they brought Andy Dalton in for that play, it was because it was like a 3rd and 1 situation. Yeah. Jen, thank you so much. I appreciate you following my Insta. Thank you so much. Cav, it was when they were on, it was like 4th and 1, and we were in field goal territory, but we were driving down the field. Or maybe that was after the Von Bell interception. It might have been after the Von Bell interception. It was 4th and 1, but it was very, it was more like 4th and inches, right? It wasn't even, but on that play, they were threw Andy Dalton out there because they didn't trust Bryce to run the sneak and get the first down. And then we ended up kicking the field goal. Well, no, we ended up getting a false start, and then we had to kick the field goal. Okay. So the weight of expectations, okay, for Bryce Young. It's your plate. We have placed a big, huge, heavy crown that is weighing down Bryce's head. Okay, let's be honest. With each and every game, all right, and everybody's dissecting his every move, okay? But hold your judgment, all right? Okay. Every rookie quarterback needs room to grow. All right. In week 2, he has been continued to show glimpses of potential and displaying impressive footwork, pre-snap wizardry. He still has all that, guys. Some type window throws. He did throw that as well. Now the results are not what we want, right? We're not seeing the W's at the end of the day. Bryce is also not throwing for over 200 yards, okay? But he's also doing other things that are right and showing that he has the potential if and when we get him a true number 1 wide receiver. And that's the biggest issue here, which we're going to talk more about that here shortly. But with time and experience, he will end up, his wings will be flying. We will be doing the flying V here soon, like the Mighty Ducks. You just got to give it time and be patient. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. And I keep telling everybody that, Rome wasn't built in a day. I know I sound like a broken record player, but you got a rookie quarterback. You got a new head coach. You got a new offensive coordinator. You got a new defensive coordinator. You've got some new coaching staffs. You got some guys that came back from the past couple of years. But other than that, and you got fresh faces and you don't have a true number 1 wide receiver. But we also have other things that we need to be talking about here. And that's like with the Frank Reich conundrum, right? The mystery behind this whole playbook we've been thinking about all season, which is really frustrating to me, because when does this vanilla playbook end? When does Frank Reich say, okay, my play calling doesn't fit Bryce? I can still be a quarterback development coach because that's what I am. I can develop quarterbacks. That's what I'm known for in the league. But when do I pass that playbook along or start switching up to where it fits our wide receivers and where it fits Bryce Young? Okay? That's our problem here, is that Frank Reich is holding on to the reins, and I think he's got them way too tight. Okay? That we produced 281 total yards and a mere 10 points. Okay? Okay, yeah, the score said 20-17, but we had 1 touchdown. Okay? All right. The thing is the play calling served away from the run game, which wasn't going too well with Miles Sanders, or really it wasn't going too well with Chuba Hubbard. But you can't just because they're stuffing it doesn't mean you want to go completely away from it. Now I will say this: you've got to continue to pound the ball at least on first down. Then we kind of went away from that as well. Like we were normally going first, second downs, but then they just went away from it and just started, but that's why we saw more 3 and outs and punting, because when we go away from the run game, we had so many missed opportunities. And I think it's time for us to ponder what offense would look like under Thomas Brown. A guy that learned from an offensive genius that some people consider one of the best offensive coaches in the NFL, Sean McVay, who's also worked alongside another offensive genius, Mike Shanahan, and Sean McVay, I'm sure, has learned some things from him, or maybe they've learned from each other. But I'm sure Thomas Brown has some stuff up his sleeves. And when we saw Thomas Brown's offense during the preseason, we were all saying it as fans that his offense looked more fluid and competent on this offense. Now, granted, we don't have a true number 1 wide receiver, and still our wide receiver is getting separation. It seems merely impossible. We need a guy like a Devontae Smith, maybe even like a Marquise Brown. We need some speedsters. We need some guys that can get open. We don't need, I like the T. Higgins move, but Devontae Smith, it would be better. And I'm not saying that just because he played with Bryce, but if you go watch his tape, the way the way he runs routes is the way this offense would work a lot better. The way his playing style is. T. Higgins would be great. He'd be an end zone threat, but the problem is the NFL. Look at Miami's offense. Why are they so good? Because they've got two guys that are speedsters that get open. They are constantly getting open. That's what you need. This offseason, or maybe before the trade deadline, maybe we make some offensive line moves and a corner move and a wide receiver move. Maybe before the trade deadline. Or there's going to have to be some moves that need to be made. There's going to be some guys that are on this team that are going to have to, like, we might have to trade. Like, and I'm talking about guys like Jeremy Chin. I'm talking about a guy like maybe Miles Sanders. We might have to trade Miles Sanders. Because honestly, right now, I feel like Chuba is more productive, in my opinion. Andy Isabella Match Hatter is not going to help this group. He's not that good. He's not good enough to improve the separation. He's not we need a true number one, and Andy Isabella will never be a true number one wide receiver, much less even make it to a roster. I'm sorry. I just can't do that. I can't agree with going after an Andy Isabella. That's not going to do any good for us. Well, you need a true number one because the DJ Moore hit is all we're obviously already seeing it. The loss of DJ Moore on this team is obviously we are seeing it because our wide receivers are getting no separation. And I've seen people, well, bring back Robbie Anderson. He's not even playing in Miami. I'm pretty sure he's not. I don't even know if he's on the 53-man roster there. But T. Higgins is looking for a contract. I would not be opposed to him. I think he would be a great vertical threat, at least from a standpoint of maybe helping. I think he could be definitely a big helper in the fact of helping our wide receivers get separation because they're going to be so keen on him. But I think you need guys like a Devontae Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Can you believe that we as a team, right? As a team, as our GM took Terrace Marshall Jr. over Amon St. Brown? Amon-Ra St. Brown was one of can you believe that? Can you imagine Amon-Ra St. Brown being on this team right now with Bryce Young? Could you imagine Devontae Smith being on this team? Not saying we didn't go after Devontae Smith, not saying that we missed out on him. We would have never got him in the draft anyways, based off where he got picked. But can you believe that? Can you believe that we took J.C. Horn over Patrick Surtain? There's a lot of miscues here in the GM, which we're going to talk about him here shortly because his seat, I think, is getting a little hot. Right? His seat warmer's on high. All right. And it's not even cold outside yet. Marcos Cash is in here. Panther Nation. I don't see a win in the future. Honestly, man, if we go in 6, like I told y'all, man, if we go in 17, I'll still be here giving y'all content. Dude, if y'all are ever in the Charlotte area, though, go by. There's a place near the stadium. It's literally right off Graham Street or Monroe Street. It's an old school, literally it's just a Panther store, I'm pretty sure. Now, they might have old school NFL gear all around. But anyways, I got this old school hat and I got an old school t-shirt from there, but it was sick. Y'all got to go check that place out. I can't remember the name of it. I might be able to find the receipt. But anyways, y'all got to go check it out. Matt Chatter's coming in here saying, can't get true one now. I mean, no, the only person we probably could get is, there's teams out there we might be able to make a trade with Cincy for T. Higgins. We might be able to make a trade for the trade for Devontae Smith won't happen. We're gonna have to really watch closely what Devontae Smith does if the Eagles can really re-sign him and bring him back. I don't know where the Eagles cap space is as of right now and if they're going to be able to afford him because he'll become a free agent this offseason. I think they'll re-sign him. They'll figure out a way to because most NFL teams can, they can mess with the cap. right? So, um, he was having a bad dream. Scooby was having a bad dream. I would trade Birds for a top wide receiver. It's just so hard for me to do that, man. Because here's the thing, it's not just wide receiver we need. We need I mean, do we really need offensive linemen? No, not necessarily. I mean, it's not as a big need now. I mean, yeah, we have some issues, obviously, with Corbett being out, obviously Christensen being out. But if this offensive line is fully healthy, and obviously we've seen it, even if Christensen was healthy and Zavala was still at right guard, we're still a solid offensive line, right? So maybe offensive line is not the biggest thing, but I think between the corner positions, the wide receiver positions, we really need to be recruiting, looking at free agency, who got what guys are going to be free agents. I would also be looking at what um, you know, what corners are going to be free agents next year, right? Who haven't signed. Also, obviously, the draft, coming up as well. This is going to be a good wide receiver draft, I think, again. The corner is, I feel like corners are always available in the draft. So, there's always some top, there's always like 5 or 6 corners in the drafts that are studs, right? So, if I'm Scott Fitter, that's what I'm looking at right now. Offensive line, I don't think we need to really look at it. If you want to add some more depth there, maybe some veteran pieces, sure. But I would be really, really looking into that. Way too many misses. Yep. Marcos Cash, not yet. His seat's warm though. His seat's like I said, it's not even cold outside yet, which is getting there. The fall season's getting here. I feel it coming. But yeah, I'll tell y'all this. It's let's just say his seat is on high and it's not even cold out, man. Jadarius, what's up, man? You need a better running back. Yeah, I think the running back will definitely help. Problem is who we're gonna get. I mean, there's free agents out there. There's also but who are we really gonna get, right? I would look at Donovan Peoples Jones also. Yeah, I'd like to, I would take a chance, right? It's not I mean, this is what the NFL is about, right? You're taking chances. Um just an injury report real quick, guys. Just popped on my scale here. Bryce Young held out of Wednesday's practice. So basically just gave him a rest day. Burns was limited. Doesn't sound like there's any too much going on the doesn't seem like there's too much on the injury report. Let me double check on this. Um okay, here's a Wednesday update injury report. Um Bryce Young did not participate due to an ankle injury. But it doesn't seem like very, like it's not too concerning. Um, Panthers have veteran backup in reserve. They added Jake Luton to the practice squad today as well. Brian Burns was limited in practice today. His ankle. Justin Houston calf was limited today. Running back Miles Sanders was limited today to a pectoral issue, and then Chandler Wooten knee issue limited as well. Barna was listed as fully participant. Looks like we have a full practice tomorrow, and Frank Wright will offer up some more updates tomorrow. And it looks like Frank Wright is on the let's see. I think he's live right now. Let's see if I can pull it up for you guys and we can watch it. Hopefully they've got it on. Oh, perfect. And then we'll get back to this to my thing here.
if Andy's a starter, we got a lot of confidence. We have a lot of confidence. This is why you bring someone like Andy in. Our goal is to put our team in position to win championships. And, even despite a tough start, that's still our vision. That's still our goal. That's what we're working towards. And, my experience personally as a player and as a coach is that you're going to need somebody, for one game or two or three or somewhere along the line. And you're going to need to win those games. And if Andy plays, we believe he gives us a very good chance to win.
Right, you talked about the injury report.
Go ahead, Baxter.
Brian Burns, Justin Houston. Do you have any further information about them? Miles Sanders?
No further information. Obviously they all made it through the game. They all projected as limited. So I think they're all in decent shape, but we'll see how they respond in the next 24 hours.
Right. What's your level of concern, not just for Bryce playing, but understanding how important every rep is in his development?
No doubt. So he wasn't, he didn't take the reps today, but he's out there. He was out there, locked in on every call, like he was under center, so he's getting ready to play, whether it's this week or whenever, because every rep is important. So, I have confidence in Bryce too, if there's days. And listen, it's a long season. Well, at least most of the quarterbacks I've been around, all of them, they're missed a couple practices.
Nah, Scott's sitting in a metal chair that's been sitting outside all day.
Normally, you get banged up. You play that position, you're going to get banged up.
Bryce was scared to death. He did, man.
And you
He
might
was
have to
running
miss
for
a
his
day or
life.
two along the way.
Logistically,
No.
I was just going to follow on that. Logistically, it is a short week. You're flying 2,500 miles.
Yeah, Josh, I don't think. I mean, it just depends on how bad this ankle injury is, because he was limited in participation.
It just really depends. Yes, according to the books, you'd obviously like to play. You
might be right.
Want every minute you have to recover.
It could be that
get
too.
To full strength. Although, once you get to week 3 or 4 in the season, everybody's pretty banged. Starting to get banged up. But that'll all be factored in the decision by the doctor, by the player, by the coach.
Marcos, I'm not gonna lie.
That factors into the equation. Absolutely.
You're saying they're both going to play, huh? I hope that's not the case.
That's our bro. This team loves that man. This team loves that man and respects that man. So, we all understand the business side of it, but it doesn't go unnoticed.
We'll do a couple more. We'll do David, and then we'll do Dave.
Just the struggles the offense has had the first couple of weeks to be an observer and sit back and watch a little bit and let Andy handle it. Would that be a benefit of him at all, just sort of hypothetically?
Well, I don't want to get into the hypotheticals. I just think, Bryce is the kind of player that no matter what his status is, he's going to always be working to get better. That's just who he is. That's how I think he'll operate. And I have that confidence in him in that.
Right, this is also a logistical question. On a short week, is there a point where you feel you need to make that call to give your starter the best chance to succeed?
Yeah, there is, no doubt. I agree with that. And, so I kind of have some general principles.
Oh, Matt, okay. I was like, I don't know if both of them will be playing, but I think Andy,
we say, hey,
obviously Andy.
I'm not going to go into what those are, but we have internally, we have those, like how many days of practice is it needed for a young player to play versus a 10-year vet.
I don't know about that, Matt.
You got a 10-year vet.
I don't know about that, Matt.
If he's a younger player, maybe you want to.
I don't know if we'd be 2-0 with the Red Rocket.
That's an idea of stuff that we think through and goes into the equation, and it all matters.
Do you have any idea who's going to start Shaq's spot yet?
At who's? Yeah. Listen, Camus played very well. So he's gonna get a lot of play. We might rotate.
I tell you, they stink, but they're 2-0.
So. We don't want to. Camus is also such a great special teams contributor.
They might stink, but they don't. Obviously, they don't stink enough to not start 2-0.
But I want to give Camus all the credit he deserves for how.
Camus Gruger Hill did look great.
If he plays every snap, he's earned it.
It's the
You know what I
Panthers'
mean?
worst
And
team
if
right now.
if we end up deciding to,
I
rotate anybody
mean, we
through
might
there,
be. I mean, look
um,
at the Cardinals. The
you know, it
Cardinals
certainly
actually
could
put up
try and do
28
what's best for the
points.
team as far as making the best use of
You
all of
know,
our players.
they put up 28 points against the Giants.
Thank you.
Real quick, I know Bryce is really even kill all the time, but with another loss now injury, have you noticed any change in his demeanor?
No, we all took that loss. We all took that loss hard. I mean, especially at the beginning of the year, because it's natural at the beginning of the year. All of our expectations are, they're very high.
Yeah, it talks
They're very
about
high.
that. Yeah, he's got an
And
ankle
so,
injury.
then
He was
you get into
limited
the
today
season
at
and
practice, so they don't
there's some
know. It
realities
sounds like
it's
Andy
up and
Dalton's
down
going to get the
season.
start because I don't think they want to
you
risk
don't
him getting
wish it
injured
upon
any
yourself to
worse
go through that
based off
early,
of how Frank
but,
Wright's talking about it.
kind of
Sounds like
kind of
Kareem
the
Burger
theme
Hill
has
is going to be
been,
stepping in
this
for
has
Shaq in the
happened
starting lineup.
for us, not to us. You know what I mean? So we'll
Other than
learn
that,
from
it
it.
doesn't
We'll
sound
grow
like
from it.
anybody
It will
else
make
is
us a
going
better
to,
team as we move forward. And Bryce will certainly.
Bryce
is in that
had an
category. I mean,
ankle
leading the
injury,
way
so
in
you're
that category.
Matt Chatter's in here saying he had an ankle injury, but doesn't, and they want to put Andy Dalton in. So, you know, had an ankle injury is what they're saying. So I don't know. Maybe he has one, maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is their way of saying, well, we're going to run with the Red Rocket, right? But yeah, but these are my observations from the game. Okay. These are my observations from the game. So let's get into that real quick. Super Trooper, it was tough watching the Monday night game, especially when I kept seeing Twitter posts. People are saying who put bum ass Panthers on TV. Nobody cares about the Panthers. Sucks being a fan, dude. That's why after these losses, man, I stay away from Twitter and stuff like that. We honestly, guys, we could be 2-0 right now. I guarantee you there'll still be people on Twitter saying that we suck. That we this team's not very good. Bryce Young's a bust. Like, our fan base is so wishy-washy, man. Like, they're like 1 minute, like if even if we're 0-2 right now, I guarantee you there's fans out there that are Carolina Panthers fans that will literally come out of the woodworks if we win in the rest of the games of the season. Those people would come out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, I ride or die with this team, blah, blah, blah. I was always there." No, you weren't. That's how it is with this fan base. So wishy-washy. I know a lot of people that were that are like me and like y'all. I feel like most of y'all in this chat are ride or die. No, Marcos Cash. What I was saying was if we were 2-0, people would be, hyping us up. And then let's say if we went 2-0 and lost 2 straight, next thing you know, we got everybody saying we suck. Like, but people, the thing is with our wishy-washy fan base is if we lost every game this year and then the next year we won every game, all of the fans would come out of the woodworks that were talking shit about the Panthers, saying, "Oh, I'm a Panthers fan. I'm a Bryce fan." That's how this works with our fan base, and it sucks. I feel like there's only a certain amount of the Carolina Panthers fan base that actually is ride or die with this team, because they'll go off and become like a Miami fan or some shit. Marcus Cash, I don't even know if he actually has an ankle injury. I think that Matt Chatter might be right. They might be just saying he has one just so that they can put Andy Dalton in so they can sit Bryce, and they probably want him to sit and develop that way. Maybe they're thinking that might be the better route for him. I don't know. Maybe he does have an ankle injury. So I'm calling a watch game for Bryce. He too fresh. Need to give him time for a game. I wouldn't be. I'm not opposed of it. Did you guys get open? Did you guys, Matt Chat at this question? Did you guys get open from your view? What do you mean? Like where I was at in the stadium? I had great seats in the stadium. I had really good seats. I was right down on the section 1. And honestly, people who are on Twitter saying that that place wasn't packed with Carolina Panthers fans is full of shit. There was way more Panthers fans than the place was packed. First off, I saw someone post like 3 hours after before the game started, or not 3 hours before the game started, but like they had to make a post like around maybe an hour before the game started and said that there was no fans here, but that place was packed. On Twitter, somebody posted a picture saying this place has got no fans and it's not packed and nobody cares about this team. That's not true. I will say that the Bank of America Stadium Monday night was slammed with Panthers fans. And there was a really good amount of Saints fans as well. I mean, Matt Chatter, yeah, Tampa's 2-0. But Tampa is who they are, right? I mean, Todd Bowles is going to fuck it up somehow. Baker will too. Mike Evans will get traded, and things will just go back to normal where Todd Bowles is ass and Baker is too. Now, if I'm wrong on that, then good for Baker. Good for Baker, right? Stop it, Claver. Oh, no, I was not saying that. I was not saying it. Burrow threw like 30 yards, and he's still top 4 quarterback. I mean, people still consider him top 4 quarterback. But they also have some issues too. Obviously, they're 0-2. We're not the only team that's 0-2, guys. So I'm ride or die. I'm just cynical. I get it, Josh. It's really annoying, Clay. You're exactly right. It is. It's just ridiculous. Way too many people are deny Panthers in public. Yeah, they do. They really do, honestly. Did players get open from what you saw? I saw a couple times where Bryce held onto the ball way too long, and people think that quarterbacks, okay, let me make you understand this from a high level. I've never played quarterback, but I've watched enough X's and O's and to really understand the quarterback position. We're really understanding the play calling, understand all that. I've been doing a lot of studying on that. I've been reading some books. I've been doing JT or JTL or whatever his name is, JT Sullivan's quarterback school. And then I've been reading some books and stuff like that. So there was a couple times on these hitch routes that Bryce kind of was on the outside of the pocket because he hitched around off of play action. And I saw Mingo. I mean, he was off the ball. I mean, and he could have made the throw there. There was a couple times. There was about, I would say, 3 to 4 throws that Bryce really held on the ball too long, and he was looking at his first routes because they're not looking at the whole field. In every pass play, a quarterback is looking for read 1, and if read 1's not there, read 2. And that's their 2 options. Most of the time, they're stepping back. They're looking to the right. They're not going to be looking to the left because even if there's blown coverage, they're still not going to be looking to the left. They're going to be looking to the right because that's where the read is. So there was a couple times that he held on the ball too long and could have made the pass. And I think sometimes he might be second guessing himself. Why lie though? Because maybe they're not used to losing. I don't know, but they need to learn how to get used to losing, right? I agreed. I can't listen to the pretend diehard from always negative. Like if their fan base hates them, what is going to make the Panthers want to play and win for us? I get it. I agree, Jen. I agree. I'm going to watch 22 soon. Yeah, do that, match out. It's good. Josh Junk year 1. What do we want to see is progression each game? Yeah. And I think Bryce did progress in this game. All right. He didn't have any turnovers except 1 fumble. He didn't throw any picks. So that's progress, right? But our offense is just doo-doo, right? We're just not very good. Especially it's just because our wide receivers don't get any separation. Gotta let Bryce go through his growing pains, in my opinion. Yeah, patience is a virtue, my friend. Josh said it best. It has to happen. Yep. All right, so let me go through this. So these are my observations, right? I've already talked about the weight expectations of Bryce, right? the coaching conundrum of Frank Wright. When is he going to let Thomas Brown start running some of this offensive play calling? Okay. Now, the resilient defense. Okay. We have this defense is still a top, could be, if not a top 10 defense in the NFL. Okay. The injuries hit us again, right? Obviously, with JC Horn already out. Luckily enough, he's not going to be out for the year. He's going to be obviously out for a couple of games, right? He's got to be out at least for 4 games due to the fact of being placed on the IR. And then, of course, Shaq is out for the year with that fibula injury. So, despite these odds, right, our defense still stepped up to the plate and made plays. They rattled Derek Carr back there with 4 sacks. He got hit 6 times with 6 quarterback hits. The pass rush even forced Carr into Von Bell getting a pick, right? While they couldn't completely, prevent deep plays, the defense held its ground, and Camus Gruger-Hill definitely stepped up. Frankie Luvu definitely stepping up. Just a bunch of magnificent efforts there from this defense, right? And then when it comes to our offensive line, now there have been trials and tribulations, right? We've tried different things, tried different people. Obviously, Christensen being out for the year, Chandler Zavala at right guard has worked out. Now you have into, Brady Christensen, Austin Corbin, not to mention now Taylor Moton's bicep battle, right? You got Brady Christensen out for the year. Corbett still dealing with the ACL injury from last year. Now you got Taylor Moton with his bicep battle. I think that the Saints defense had a field day with us. No offense. I mean, they had 4 sacks, 7 hits on our quarterback. Even when the Saints dropped 7 in coverage, the Panthers' protection couldn't hold the fort down very well. So the running game too, it found itself just hitting a wall every single time, scrapping together just 100 yards, right? So the offensive line must find its groove again, rebuild that confidence in weeks to come. And we'll see how things really work out as we move forward and how things unfold. And we got to prepare now. At this point, we got to prepare for Seattle. So Black Cat Panther podcast is in here. Got to meet Q and Goat out there in Charlotte. It was nice meeting those guys. Those guys are they are fun, man. They are very cool, nice people. So if you ever see them or me in the Charlotte area ever again, y'all all have to come and say hello. It was a good time. We met up over at the Roaring Riot. Tailgate. We had a great time. So that was fun. Who could only be out for 4 games? Horn has to be out for 4 games because they place him on IR, but he'll be out more than 4 games, probably like 6. What, buddy? Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right, appreciate it. All right, see, what's up, man? Appreciate you all joining the live stream. Sorry about that. I had to let my puppy out. He's whining. Just for some of you that don't know, I lost my dog of 10 years that I had, who I had him since he was a pup. He was a full bred black lab. He was my world, basically like my first son. Passed away while I was in Charlotte. Almost went home, almost missed the game. Just a long story short, there was a mess of emotions. And then when I came home on Tuesday yesterday, I was just like, I'm not coming home to an empty house. So I stopped by a shelter. I applied for an application and I rescued a beautiful lab mixed hound. And I decided to name him Scooby because he looks like Scooby Doo. So that's the end of that. That is the end of that. So Matt chatted to the Horn thing. Horn is on the IR. He has to miss 4 games, but I expect him to miss like 6. So, but that which was including the Saints game. So he'll probably be out until after the bye week. Honestly, probably won't see Chin till our Horn till the bye at the end of the bye week. So. But yeah, it was nice meeting Q and Goat again. I met them at the Roaring Riot tailgate. We had a great time. Got to meet Q, his family, Goat and his family. They were all there. They were going around the tailgate, having some drinks, socializing. It's a good time. So if you're ever in the Charlotte area and we're there and you know that, please come say hello. Please come say hello. But see, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining the live stream. Guys, make sure you pound that like button. I predict the early season struggles, but didn't believe we'll get together about mid-season, in my opinion. Could be. I mean, we could start literally 0-6 and go through the bye week and maybe then come back, right? I mean, we could have a bounce back after the bye week. It just depends. Now, I put you on mute, losing a dog. Sorry, man. Sorry. I don't mean to be it's year 1, not worried. No, me neither. Like I said, I'm being patient. Some of y'all might not be. Okay, so let's talk about Bryce. These are some observations that I got from the game, right? There is a confidence of cost. There's some hesitancy that I noticed. Like I was telling y'all, there was about 3 or 4 passes that I noticed that a wide receiver was actually open. Bryce read the first route, and it's like he almost second guessed it himself and then threw it somewhere else, or he's holding on to the ball too long. So there's some hesitation there. So the confidence cost roads is is kind of an issue here, right? But in the world of professional football, confidence can be elusive as a mirage in the desert, right? Bryce Young, I think, appears to really be navigating this shifting landscape of a team, right? It's not a matter of personal confidence. Instead, it's the trust he has in his receivers to find the right spots with adequate separation. Now, like I said, there was some that I think he missed. The hesitancy is reflected in his reluctance to release the football properly. So I feel like Young's football IQ is definitely undeniable, right? We all know that. But the prolonged indecision making often results in defenders looming around our wide receivers. So this isn't a case of jittery mechanics or happy feet, right, that have plagued a lot of Carolina Panthers quarterbacks in the past. It's more about his faith, or really, I guess, lack thereof, right? And his primary pass catcher. So what it boils down to is trust, or the lack thereof. It's just a puzzle at this point that Young has to find that missing piece and must solve the puzzle, right? Now, when it comes to pinpoint precision that I have down right here, when the opportunity knocks, right? Because one of the prevailing issues here too is haunting us is the Panthers wide receiver struggling to create separation consistently. So this possesses a significant challenge, right, for our quarterback. Okay. Now, Young's accuracy, when even the tiniest of windows, is an opportunity like a cracked open door. He has completed, and I think it's an impressive feat, right? 66.6% of his passes against a formidable Saints defense. Now, he showed he's capable of when those fleeting moments emerge. Now, he managed to avoid interceptions, found the end zone once, secured a 60.7 QBR rating with just 153 passing yards, right? Now, the scarcity of these explosive plays can't solely be attributed to Young's inexperience, okay? It's the challenge of receivers failing to consistently break free. So the potential for Young is there. The shining moments, he's got all the tangibles, got the IQ, right? Everything, right? Everything you could ask for at a quarterback. But we're waiting for this separate these wide receivers to really unleash you know, this freedom, this separation for us to have some explosive plays. Now, could the play calling also be a burden to our team? I absolutely think so, because right now all I've seen is a vanilla playbook that I've seen even all off season, but yet they were saying they were hiding all of our explosive plays, or the playbook that is so great that I haven't seen nothing that's been explosive or great, right? But when Thomas Brown during the preseason was having the play calling, there was more explosive. It seemed like wide receivers were getting open. Now, I know this is preseason, right? I know that's preseason, so things probably are look different. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it. But at least when Thomas Brown was calling the play callings, at least the offense looked competent and it flowed a lot better, right? Now, the burden on Bryce Young, okay? The shoulders of Bryce Young is holding a considerable amount of weight, especially for our future as a franchise. And it's evident that I feel that he's not getting the support he really needs, in my opinion. Right? Carolina invested heavily in Young, but the supporting cast hasn't matched up to our quarterback's potential. Draft picks aren't panning out. Questionable veteran acquisitions have left Young in the lurch, right? Pass catchers struggle to create separation, making Bryce Young's job even more exponentially harder. The offensive line, though doing its best, it's dealing with injuries that further compound the problem. And if Young clings to the ball, it's often because there's no one available to receive it. So the front office faces scrutiny, but the coaching staff must also share the responsibility of scheming around the talent deficit in the wide receiver room. How many times do I have to tell people this? What do you not understand and get through y'all sick heads? The Panthers are at a crossroads, and only when they provide Young with the tools he needs, he will truly be elite. Okay? That's it. That is it. Black Cat Panther Podcast knows what's up. Me and them have had this conversation multiple times, and we both agree. But until this happens, it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, we're looking at what, like, I don't understand, like, why people don't understand. I mean, we have to have patience, right? Like, I'm still having patience, but everybody thinks that this is on Bryce Young. A lot of people on Twitter right now are saying he's a bust. He's not a bust. Jaguars, nobody on the Jaguars on that fan base thought Trevor Lawrence was a bust. But even though he had a shit year, his first year, but then they gave him protection. They gave him some wide receivers, and look what happened. Matt Chatter, I'm done telling that story. We won't be competing for the division until 2015, 2026, let alone deep playoffs. Well, I mean, rebuilds don't happen overnight. Rebuilds take about 3 years at most. Right? I think we'll take a jump in 2024. I mean, as long as there's progression, Josh, hopefully so. This year is about progressing each game for Young and deciding if we need a new GM or not. Could be right. That's another possibility. There's a lot of possibilities. The possibilities are endless, honestly. Right? Every first down run up the middle. Yeah, the inside zone run was just brutal, man. It was first and second down. I mean, honestly, you know what our offense reminded me of? It reminded me of the Lou Holtz days in South Carolina when we would just run up the middle, run up to the left, run up to the right, punt. That's what it reminded me of Monday night. Go watch you some Lou Holtz South Carolina days and tell me that's not it. You know? I mean, literally. Mr. Clean's coming in. Our run game isn't even disguised. No, it's not. Not at all. Clay Young ain't it. Q, I think we're jumping the gun on that. I think we're jumping the gun on that just a little bit. And hey, you might be right. You might be right. Right? I mean, we're only basing off of 2 games, though. So, and we're also got to look at this wide receiver core, man. I mean, it's not very good. I mean, I don't think you could expect even Trevor Lawrence to go out here and make plays, right? Like, even a top 5 quarterback is struggling right now. Like, look at Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, they beat the Jags, but their wide receiver core is still issue. They still have a lot of issues. The wide receiver core is the issue. We don't have enough guys to get open. We don't have enough guys who can cause separation. We don't really have a wide receiver that makes a corner say, "Oh shit, I got to cover him." We don't have that deep threat, right? But I mean, Thielen's going to be a guy that just would be Mr. Consistent. He gets open, you know, but that's it. You know what I mean? Come on. Good boy. Get in there. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So, you know, it is what it is. So I feel like, I mean, I think a lot of us could be jumping the gun. I mean, I saw Q saying that Bryce ain't it, and he could be right too. I mean, that is an evaluation that could come down to the line that is the exact truth. Right? But then it also could come down that it's just the fact that we just have shitty ass wide receivers. And none of them are consistently can get open. Because Thielen's not, if it was Thielen back in the day, we might be seeing something different, right? But this is 32-year-old Thielen. He's on his last leg, right? Watching the offense, watching paint dry is more exciting than watching this offense. I couldn't agree more. See, you can get out on your own. Why are you whining? Huh? Why are you whining? We got to have a wide receiver or a bottom 5 wide receiver core. Yeah, hold on. I'm watching my puppy real quick here. Just seeing what he's doing. I'm still like house training him and stuff. So, okay, perfect. He's fine. We got to have, yeah, I mean, we do. Our wideouts suck. Yeah, we're just very bad. We are just not even, we don't even have a guy that's even in the top 25, much less maybe even the top 50 as a wide receiver. Now, this injury thing, okay, right? Game 1 with a bad coach. We knew Lawrence was that guy. I see what you're saying, Q, but I still have a lot of faith in Bryce, man. I think this is similar to the Trevor Lawrence situation, and I think watch once he gets somebody like a Christian Kirk or get somebody like even a Calvin Ridley, if we even get somebody to that level, that I think could see some change. I think Frank Wright it's got the reins too tight right now. Well, you tried. You tried. You did. You tried. You just missed it. See, I got pee pads for him. So he's missing them, but he's aiming for him, right? He's just a little off. So I've been working on that with him. But it's okay. It's not like he means to. Now he injured. Yeah, they just pulled him for Dalton. So here's the thing, Q. I don't think that they I don't think that he's injured. I honestly think that they're going to sit Bryce for a game and make him watch. I think he needs maybe some time to sit down and probably develop. I don't think it would be a bad idea. But it is what it is. All right, let's move on. Panthers pain. Okay. I'm on Frank's ass. I mean, I am too. I think it's time for Thomas Brown to get the reins. Part of me also thinks that as well. That he's lying, especially with this whole playbook thing. Hold on one second. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, you tried. You tried. Okay. Sorry about that. I just think Thomas Brown, it's time for Thomas Brown to get the play calling. That's it. Right? I just think it's time for Thomas Brown to get the play calling. Q, Frank ain't it, Scoffitter ain't it, Bryce ain't it, most of all, Tepper ain't it. Oh, here we go. Golly. Tepper's definitely not it. I'll agree with that. Fitter, he's on the cusp of me saying the same thing. Bryce, I'm not gonna go jump the gun on that. Because this is for year one, guys. I mean, if Frank ain't it, I'm not gonna say that because it's year one. We're 2 games in. I mean, I want to be on Frank's right ass because part of the offensive play calling has been ass. But I'm telling you, man, we haven't even gone through year one yet, and we're already jumping the gun. Some of y'all are jumping the gun, and I honestly don't agree. Bryce is not hurt. I guarantee you, Bryce is not hurt. I guarantee you they're going to sit him a game because they want for him to sit back and watch a game to where he, I guess, can develop. It's more maybe of a development learning curve. Okay. Q is pissed off. This is Q going off in the chat because he's pissed. This is not Q being logical and realistic. I know that. I can tell. I know how these guys, after collabing with these guys, talking Carolina Panthers football with them now, these are just the moments that where Q comes in and me and it's like I have to be like a therapist. I got to sit down, he's got to put his head on the pillow and I got to sit here just, yeah, 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 and then I kind of have to like say, no. Now, Will you stop? You're being crazy. All right. Yeah, I did. I will say that, Cav. He has missed his pea pod a couple times. That's fine, Q. You do that. You get on Frank for me. But I am not jumping ship on the Frank Wright and Bryce Young train. Okay. I'm not jumping on that train yet. Come on. Go. 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 Get in there. Get in there. Good boy. Good boy. Here you go. Give me a couple cookies. I'm just not going to be that fan. I'm not just going to be unrealistic, unideological, not understanding, not I get it. We can be pissed off and say some stupid things or say some things maybe we truly feel, but at the same time, I'm just not going to be one of those fans that just jumps the gun and says, well, Bryce Young ain't it. Frank Wright's not it. Right. I will say this though. I do need Frank Wright to let Thomas Brown start making some play calls. Right. Kev's going off in the chat. Thomas Brown. Hey, no. Thomas Brown should be the play caller. Yeah, he should. Did you draft the dog in the first round? I feel like it. I feel like it sometimes. Here. And you stop it. Hush. You got toys and everything. You should be good. Y'all bugging. It's first year and only played 2 games. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to blame the wide receiver when you see the Rams offense right now. I think Frank Reich needs to swallow his pride. I also think we need to run the ball a lot better. Well, there's a lot of things that we need to do, but at that, you sometimes you get shit in one hand and piss in the other, right? Right. I mean, I blame the wide receivers because they're not getting open. They're not getting consistent separation. I blame Frank Wright because Frank Wright is also play calling is very vanilla that we're seeing, but he had us thinking that this offense, this offense was going to be so great with the playbook he's put together, right? So that's the frustrating part for me. And now, am I going to say that Frank Wright shouldn't be a head coach? Should I say Bryce Young isn't it? I'm not going to say that. It's only 2 games. We're not even haven't made it through a full year with either one of these guys yet. Hush. Gosh. You are bugging, man. Leave me alone for like 10 more minutes. It took many years to hit his stride. We've got to stop expecting QBs to be instantly great, especially when their weapons are subpar. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. Colts, Jaguars, Texans, Titans fan been telling us Frank was a bum. I haven't had any Colts or Jaguars or Texans or Titans fan telling me that. So, that's neither here nor there. I'll get on Frank for you. Q, you do that. Just get on him, but don't say that Bryce ain't it and Frank Wright ain't it. Let's not jump the gun on that yet. Keep your head on the swivel. I agree with you. It's early to blame Bryce. People love animal videos, so does the dog have a jersey? Not yet. I'll get him one, though. I'm going to the PetSmart today. I got to get him some stuff. Clay, head on the pillow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I let Q just do his thing, and then okay, how can we solve that? How can I make Q feel better? How can I make Q not so mad? Right? That's what I write. I'm not jumping ship neither. I'm just saying, hey, we not Brock Purdy. Dude, I could be a 49ers quarterback and I would still be I could be like Brock Purdy. Let's be honest. I don't understand how people can blame a rookie quarterback. What did everyone expect him to win every game first year? Yeah, I that's the ideological, unrealistic bullshit that I can't stand. It's like you can't expect this guy to go out there and win every football game because he won a lot of games in Alabama. It doesn't work that way. Tim Tebow was a great quarterback in the SEC, won a lot of games, but he was ass in the NFL. Maybe Young should watch more film or something and learn how to throw players open when they not as open or separated. I mean, that's not really how it works, Kev. I mean, he just hesitates sometimes, and I feel like he reads the route and he feels like the corner or maybe the safety's going to jump the gun, maybe because of the Jesse Bates thing. I hope he's not starting to see ghosts like Sam Darnold is. I hope that's not one of the situations. But I feel that with a quarterback like this, who's very intelligent, who works his ass off, who's the first one on the field, last one off, it seems like mentality, and it seems to be like that for the most part when it even comes to practices and stuff like that. Hey, stop. You're going to break your damn teeth. No. That's why you got a bone and a thing in there, you turd. I just think that, you shut up. No, you. Well, right back at you. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Whatever. Your mama. Yeah, whatever. Your bald-headed granny. But anyway. No, you can get out your cage right there. Look straight ahead. But anyway, so the thing is here. You can get out. Hello? You can get out. You can get out. Come on. Come on. Come on. Dude, you can get out. Look. You're smarter than that. You're the one who's putting yourself in there. Oh my God, he's a nut. Yeah, did you hear Clay say yo mama to a dog? Yeah. He's talking shit, Yeah, I'll go on Fanatics and get one. I'll cop one off of Fanatics. I'm sure they got one. Rookie mistakes, he'll get better. Just takes some time. Yeah, I think we just all got to be patient, man. I just don't know how much more I can tell y'all that. We got to be patient. We got to be more patient. I get it. We want to win now, but it's shit. This shit's not even gonna, It's not. This is just not gonna happen overnight. It's just not. Oh gosh, glare in here. So, anyways, I said it. I said it to him. I even said his bald-headed granny. Dog going off like Will Smith at the Oscars. Oh shit, nah, he ain't doing that. He ain't slapping me. He's telling fans keep Bryce Young's name out your mouth. Yeah, that's what I hope he's saying. But the pain and the blame, right? This is right. This is our fan base right now. Okay, we've got this face right here, and then we're all looking at all three of these guys, right? Not necessarily DJ Chark. Okay, DJ Chark is just, for example, of our wide receiver core. Okay, we're looking at all these guys. Okay, we're pointing fingers to acknowledge who is to blame. Okay, right? The weight of expectations on Bryce Young often carries a lion's share of both praise and blame. Okay, he's the number 1 overall pick. He's been thrusted into this unforgiving spotlight, and the growing pains, I think, are evident, guys. It's the second game in the NFL season, and obviously it wasn't a great one. Okay, but he also had endured 4 sacks, like 7 quarterback hits. He had some missed opportunity connections with open wide receivers down the field, which was glaring, and I mentioned that earlier. Okay, but he was able to make some good check down throws, which was smart, and it helped move the ball, right? The struggles a rookie struggles are not uncommon in the NFL. We all know that. Okay. But fans have hoped for flashes of brilliance from him. And I think we have seen some. But in Young's defense, the offensive line and our wide receiver core did little to really help anything. So that raises some questions about the supporting cast, right? With DJ Moore out, okay, this is talking about the wide receiver core now, okay? We get these acquisitions of Thielen, Chark, Mingo, Chenault, hoping one of these guys are going to step up with his departure. While Thielen, Mingo have rose to the occasion, I feel like more. Chark coming back off of an injury, he just fell flat on his face, only getting targeted for one. Well, he got targeted twice, but then and he actually, I think, made that catch, but then they called it back for a penalty. So technically, they named it. He only got targeted once and got one catch. But he has the chance to really establish himself as a wide receiver one, but has yet to deliver that, right? He's really just done next to nothing, right? All right. Now I get it. He apparently admittedly said that he played injured, and if he's on the field, expectations are high, but still, I need more from this wide receiver core. It's not just DJ Chark. It's Thielen. It's Hurst. It's Mingo. It's Marshall. It's Chenault. But I don't think we're going to get it. I just don't. There's one thing I truly believe, and you know what really ain't it? It's our wide receiver core. Right? Miles Sanders, I'm also starting to think he ain't it either. Okay? Offensive line is it when it's healthy. I'm starting to think, though, JC Horn ain't it, if you want to talk about somebody. Because he can't stay on the field. The best ability is availability. I can tell you right now, CJ Henderson ain't it. Dante Jackson ain't it. Okay? If you want to talk about anybody that ain't it, I just named a couple. All right? Now, starting to get to the point that ain't it that y'all want to keep talking about here. And that's Scott Fitter. Okay? Apparently the architect of change. All right? All right? The decision made, the significant reason for, I think, this loss to the Saints is the decision made before the season even began. And that was when General Manager Scott Fitter engineered a blockbuster trade, sending DJ Moore 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks to the Bears to get Bryce Young. Now, I'm not saying Bryce Young was the wrong pick to make. This isn't a judgment on trades and ultimate value. It's too early for all that. Okay. However, it's an undeniable fact that Scott Fitter's trade set the stage for this week 2 loss. And that's because as the Panthers embark on a transitional journey to relevance in this league with a promising young quarterback, Fitter's decision will be under the microscope because while time will reveal if Young's potential, it's evident that there may be more losses in the near future before the Panthers' fortunes begin to turn around. Okay? It's crucial to remember, though, guys, football is a team sport, and victories and defeats are shared by experiences by both. All right? So if you want to blame anybody on this loss or the losses that we are having, the guy to the right, the furthest right, Scott Fitter, if you want to blame anybody, blame him. That's my opinion. So, all right, guys. Well, I am about to hop off of here. I am going to make myself some lunch. I'm going to take him on a walk. And I got some other work that I need to do for my other company. Shut up! You hush. Okay, we'll go in a minute. So I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel. See, that's what he's saying. Pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Okay. See, that's what he's saying. All right. So I appreciate everyone joining. I'm hopping off, and y'all keep pounding. Peace.